We've divided this review into 8 categories. Number 1, ease of use. During the first day use, the MacBook is fairly easy to use, although I think it's odd that the settings app is called System Preferences because on about every device it would be called Settings and it would not be a big deal to change it. Not only that, but when you search for settings in the Spotlight search, the System Preferences comes up, which makes it less of a big deal, but it also shows how stubborn Apple can be at times. The average user can probably get by pretty easily without having much trouble, but there are a few things to note before spending close to $2,000 on a laptop. One of the things I've had a problem with is that some very simple things can be pretty difficult to figure out and require looking it up, and that's a pain. First of all, it's pretty difficult to transfer files from the Mac to another device, especially on Android. One of the most obvious downsides of this computer is that it only has 2 USB-C ports and a headphone jack without an HDMI or regular USB port. Most LG laptops have HDMI ports. Keyboard. The keyboard can start to hurt your fingers after typing for long periods of time, which I believe is what a computer has to do well. Like you have to get one of those gel things and put it over the keyboard. I think I do like the click of the keyboard and the sound. It does have a backlit keyboard, which is an expectation at this price point. There is one odd thing about the keyboard, and it's the up and down arrow keys are way smaller than the left and the right ones. Build quality. Overall, a well-built laptop made of aluminum with a huge trackpad. The trackpad also has a feature where you can click anywhere on the trackpad and even click down harder for different types of features, thanks to a pressure sensor housed underneath the trackpad. So it depends on what you're doing, like you press File and then it'll go to Edit. The trackpad is smooth and basically always easy to use. The speakers are quite big and an upgrade from the previous model, so that is definitely a plus. The viewing angles are about what you would expect for a quite expensive laptop. It has a Retina display, and no, that does not have anything to do with a scanner for irises or anything like that. The screen can be lifted up with one hand, even giving it a thought, which is definitely a plus. The screen is also not very light, which is not really a negative or positive thing, and it has barely any flex, so that's a positive thing. The laptop has an overall well-built body, and it will do fine as long as it's going through regular use and not being dropped 10 times a day. The webcam honestly isn't even worth mentioning, and most people can just use the front-facing camera on their phone or FaceTime, things like that. I think it flashes blue whenever it's on or something. Charging. This laptop might not have all the ports that some people use every once in a while, but it does have USB-C fast charging, which is in today's age considered the future. So I'm glad that Apple decided to go with that. Even though it's limited in ports, it can charge very fast. Portability. This laptop is fairly light and quite reasonably thin and easy to carry and use. The screen has fairly small and unnoticeable bezels, which is a positive thing. Summary. Overall, I think that most people could use this laptop without any problems, but I do not think that someone who is an Android user would like this as much as some Windows laptops on the market, just because it has a completely different interface. So I think if you have an iPhone and have had one for a while and like it, then I would think this computer would meet your expectations. Problems to consider before buying. The keyboard is very difficult to use if you have long fingernails. It does not have a CD drive, and when an LG laptop that is $200 does, like my friend has a $200 laptop and it has a bunch of stuff that this one doesn't. So I had to use his for quite a few things. It does not have a touch screen when most laptops do at that price point, and even half the price. Sometimes the speakers can spaz out and make a static noise for no reason. That's super loud. Like if you're watching any video or any noise coming out of it. If you're thinking about buying this for school and gaming, you probably will want a different laptop, considering the fan gets really loud when you game at a lousy 720p. Another thing I encountered was that when the laptop is on some flat surfaces, it'll slide back when you open it. The laptop comes with a butterfly style keyboard, and some have been known to fail, but Apple will replace it or give you a new one when it's under warranty. And you can airdrop the computer things and videos and whatnot.